Welcome everyone to the Frank Lampard Coventry rebuild. We will be doing 3 seasons as Coventry City in the Championship as Frank Lampard. We will be obviously taking over the team as it is now. We've got a November squad update in place, so it might be a little bit outdated, but I don't think there'll be too many differences between the squad in November and December. As you can see, we've loaded up a couple of leagues, but we will be starting with Coventry City, and they're actually not in a bad place. They're about a mid-table side in the Championship, based on their current squad. We do sign on the dotted line. Obviously, we've had to make our own little fat Frank, but we've done the best we can, as you can see. If you're new to if you're new to the channel, we have done plenty of rebuilds before. So if you like this one, go check out the playlist that should be on the channel for all the other rebuilds we've done. We also have a long-standing series called North to Prem, where we go from National League North and try to win the Premier League by moving up through the footballing world. But back to the rebuild. So we will have 3 seasons at Coventry to try and do as best as we can. The main goal is to get the Premier League. I think if we can get this club into the Premier League, that would be a rebuild goal that would be realistic in 3 seasons. Past that, if we do get the Premier League earlier than in the 3rd season, then I guess we'll just try and do as best we can. But looking at the squad now, it's not bad. There's quite a few decent players where if I was building a team to try and get promoted from the Championship, quite a few of these lads would definitely be in it. I mean, Milan van Elwijk, I don't know Dutch pronunciation, so forgive me, but Milan, I'm just going to call him Milan. Milan at right back looks really good. The striking options look amazing. Hadji Wright, it looks like a proper great pressing forward. I mean, I've got him at advanced forward for now, but Thomas Asante is quite quick. There's some good youngsters as well. So Oliver Dovin was actually in the youth teams, the goalkeeper, but I've brought him up to the senior team because, to be honest, he looks quite good. Season preview wise, we're expected to finish around 13th, so that's not too bad. For some reason, we're in this weird friendly cup. I don't know what that is. But yeah, we've had a little bit of a clear out straight away. As you can see, there's just quite a few players. If you want to slow it down, pause it and take a look. We've just got rid of a lot of the dead wood, so I didn't want to waste too much time. But for the first incomings, we have Sepp Vandenberg. He's coming on a season-long loan. Second season-long loan is Brian Gruder. He joins us on a season-long loan from Brighton, another good young player. And Luke Thomas, a left-back, is on a season-long loan from Leicester. So we did get kick-started in the Championship, and we got off to a very good start. Hadji Wright scoring the goal that you would expect him to be getting plenty of those in the Championship. It wasn't necessarily an easy game. They did get themselves back into it, but we did have plenty of goals in us. As you can see, Asante there getting himself on the score sheet as well. Ben Sheaf from a free kick. He's another player. He looks a proper player. Ben Sheaf, he looks a really good midfielder. He could definitely be with us the entire rebuild. I think someone like Hadji Wright could be with us. Maybe even the goalkeeper. I mean, it really just depends how fast we progress, but a very good start, a 4-2 win on the opening day. We then followed it up with another win away to Derby. We got the opening goal there through a goalkeeper mistake. We then got Hadji Wright played through. He smashed it in. Hadji Wright, honestly, he looks a real player. We sealed it up with a Hadji Wright penalty to make it 2-1. We then went to Fulham in the Carabao Cup. Unfortunately, it was an early exit for us in the Cup. Again, the Cups, if we can win one, that would be really nice, but the main goal really is to get this club into the Premier League. And I think that's what Frank's going to have to do in real life. I mean, Coventry were very close at one point when they got the playoffs, when they had Victor Gyökeres. What a player that would be to get back in the rebuild. But yeah, I mean, they were very close, weren't they? So I think if we can take it that next step with Frank Lampard and get them into the Prem, that would be really good. But unfortunately, we did go out to Fulham in the League Cup. Like I say, if we could win a League Cup, great. But it's not the main goal, but we did go out in the end. We then got back to league action with a home fixture against Middlesbrough. We did go 1-0 up there. Hadji Wright playing it back, looking for an option, and we do find Thomas Asante. Them two are just absolute gunmen in this league. I tell you what, Thomas Asante is definitely not the best player ever, but he's just so quick. One thing we do need to cut out, though, is these silly defensive mistakes, but thankfully our strikers are scoring so many, it doesn't matter, and we kept up that scoring. Bassett is another one. He's a young player. He's at their club in real life, just a young player, and he's got massive potential. He looks really good. Mason Clark, a left winger, he's decent as well for this level, but Hadji Wright, I mean, he's going to get into the 30s this season. He's just been incredible. He's been so good, honestly. Yeah, he's unbelievable, and that goal scoring record just keeps going. Bassett with an absolute thunder whack into the top corner to make it 1-0 against Swansea. He then turned provider. It was a bit of a mistake really, but grew to pounce on it, and he's been terrific as well. We did go out in the FA Cup. I think it was the 4th round to Sheffield Wednesday. We reached January and we made a couple more signings. So Amad Diallo joined us on a season-long loan for the end of the season. David Washington on loan from Chelsea for the end of the season as well, just to pad out some of the options. And then finally, we brought in Scott Carson as backup goalkeeper. We had a bit of a goalkeeper injury crisis and we needed a player. So two-time multiple club Champions League winner Scott Carson is in as our backup. We then got back into league action against Portsmouth. Portsmouth again, I think we actually showed them in the away leg first of all, so just must have been very interesting games, but we did score plenty again today. Gruder this time scoring on the end of it. He's been, the goal scoring ability in this team is mad. Haji Wright, Thomas Asante, even players like Sakamoto and Mason Clark are banging them in as well. So this squad it's looking good. It's looking good for promotion. It's starting to taste like promotion, I won't lie. But we did get a very good 5-2 win over Portsmouth. We then went away to Swansea. I think did we not play these as well in the home leg? But we beat Swansea 3-1 in this fixture. And again, we're just steamrolling the Championship. I did not expect us to be this good in the first season. I genuinely didn't. I did not expect us to be this good. But as you can see, we've got the full list of fixtures. It went quite well, boys. It went really well. We had a couple patchy periods where we lost a couple in a row. But for the most part, I mean, that February, that was nearly all wins with just the one draw. And it means we got promoted. We got 100 points. So we're not only promoted, we're Centurions. Winning the league with 10 losses is mad. But we just didn't draw many games at all. We only drew the 4 games, so we won every game. Top goal scorer, Haji Wright, 36 and 46. What a gunman. After that was Gruder, I think, was our second best goal scorer. He scored 13 and 41, 11 assists. I mean, that is incredible stuff. Highest average rating was Ben Sheaf for us. I think it was a Middlesbrough player, was number 1. He's wanted by a few clubs though, so we might have to pay him the big bucks to keep him here. Haji Wright was up there. Gruder was up there. Van Out. Milan, let's just call him Milan again. He was up there. He was very good. We even had someone like Jamie Allen, who's just like a rotation midfielder. He was up there for average rating as well, so he had a very decent season as well in the Championship. Obviously, we're going up to the Premier League. We did it in one season. We're not just going to end it there. We are going to do 2 more seasons. We said it was a 3-season rebuild, so there will be 3 seasons. So our goal now, let's just see how good can we make Coventry. How good can we make this team now that we're going to be in the Premier League. Doven finished about 7th, I think it was, on the clean sheet chart for the Championship season, so not the best, but, still pretty good. He's a good young goalkeeper. I think we'll be putting our faith in him. We've got some sponsorship coming in, and we'll move into Season 2. So Season 2 now, we gain some social media followers. That's always a plus. The board very much just want us to try and stay up. I think if we even got sacked, they wouldn't even be care. If you're ever new to Football Manager and you see the little objective of try to avoid relegation or attempt to avoid relegation, they do not expect you to cook. They expect you to very much suffer and go down. So if you ever get that and you're not doing very well, and you do get relegated, don't worry, you're probably not going to get sacked. It's really unlikely because they just don't expect you to. We tried to do the season team report. Have you ever, it's not the team report, the pre-season meeting. Have you ever done that where you've went into the season to discuss plans for the next season? And basically what you need to do, which is just so gamified, you just need to match up the board objective to what you tell your players. But sometimes that just isn't there. So I wanted to say, I expect us to go down, but, give it a good effort. But everyone that was like that was either like, I'm going to sign a load of players, which I don't want to promise, or I'm going to keep you all, which I don't want to promise. But we do have our Season 2 transfers. The big one, Brandon Thomas Asante, he's gone to Saudi for 5.5 million. He was good. He's probably not good enough for the Premier League. A couple other rotation players left. Ellis Sims, he played, in and out. So he's went on loan to 20. Our first incoming, Ahmed Hodzik, the Bosnian centre-back, joins us on a permanent deal. He joins us from Sheffield United for £15 million. Second one, I'm very, very excited about. Jason Van Duven, Dutch striker, already a Premier League quality player, scored 20 in Belgium last year. He joins us for about £5 million. Another youngster, Anand Kalali, I think he was in the Como rebuild as well. He joins us from Union SG. A English player, Charlie Taylor, left back, 5.5. Castrovilli, Italian centre mid, 27-year-old, 3.5. Very cheap deal there. And then final one for now. Zefuek on a free after leaving Hertha Berlin. On deadline day, we brought a couple loans in. Utara is in on loan for the season from Bournemouth. We then got Sammy Braybrook, a midfielder, on a season-long loan from Leicester. So season 2, our first season in the Premier League. We needed to get off to a good start, and we didn't. We got absolutely spanked off Nottingham Forest. We're getting spanked off Forest. This is going to be a long season, I can tell you that already. A very, very long season indeed. We got knocked out of the Carabao Cup at the first round as well. We got knocked out by Wolves, 3-1 there. So out the cup could be a bit of a blessing, to be fair. It could, allow us to rest our players, play some teams that may be playing a lot of games, maybe getting injuries, maybe not as rested as we are. So we could be able to hopefully pick up some more Premier League points, but it is going to be a long old season because we just got beaten off 2 teams who really aren't that very good. It did take a couple games, but we did get our first win in the Premier League, a 1-0 win over Bournemouth. We then followed that up with a 1-0 win against Burnley. So the 2 Bs, good to win against, but we struggle whenever we play anyone decent. We played Liverpool, and as you can see, we're just making that terrible error of trying to play out from the back when you're not very good. We lost 3-0 to Liverpool, and I think that pretty much sums us up at this point. We can give a decent game against the teams around us, which this is one of those. We did play Middlesbrough, but anytime we play anyone good, we get spanked. So we were struggling to pick up points, but we were just about sitting above the relegation zone. So our goal, obviously, is to try and stay up. The board are really kind of not bothered if we do or don't, but we want to stay up. We want to try and do as much as we can in this rebuild. We did end up winning this game 3-2 against Middlesbrough. They did get themselves a late consolation goal, but it wouldn't have mattered because we did win 3-2 anyway. So we made a couple signings in January. Carl Jacob Hein, just a backup goalkeeper from Arsenal. Ricardo Calafiori was on the transfer list at Arsenal. We've brought him in for £11 million. He's a good Premier League player. He's going to be either centre-back or left-back. A new striker's in, Lorenzo Luca. He is in from, I can't remember where it was. It was Udinese for just £8 million. And then Simon Adingra, our loan for the Bournemouth lad, got recalled because we weren't playing him in the right position. So he's in on a season-long loan from Brighton. So all of those new additions meant we were just that little bit stronger to go away to Man United. They did actually go down to 10 men after the first goal from us. So we did take advantage of that. Van Duven scoring a penalty to make it 2-1. Elweg played it through, and we did get a third goal. Kalali has been on fire. Bruno got a consolation penalty in the 94th, but it wouldn't have mattered. We actually beat Man United 3-2. We then beat Burnley 2-1. So since the January transfer, things were looking a lot better for us, and we were actually winning quite a few games. Once again, our February period just seems to be very, very good. January, February, we just seem to cook. Not having Europe, not being in any of the cups quite deep, I think does help us. We then reversed the spanking, so we got spanked off Liverpool 3-0. When we played them at home, we spanked them 3-0. A Dingra running through, smashing one in the back of the net. A 2-0 lead early on. We then got a second half goal to wrap it up. Sheaf played it through to Castrovilli, as a great Italian name, Castrovilli. We then got knocked out. We went to the FA Cup semi-final. I almost spoiled it there. To play Everton. We was very just, boxing match, back and forth here, pound for pound. It was just one of those back and forth matches, and we did end up having to actually go to penalties. Baybrook played it out. We did get a couple late goals as well, an extra time, one for us, one for them. Talisca with a penalty, but we had a bit of a hero. Corner, whipped in, bang, from the header. It went to penalties. Luca steps up, smashed it. Talisca stepped up, saved. 1-0 up. Sheaf saved, still only 1-0. What's his name? Weber, 1-1. Adingra, smasher, 2-1. Garner, smasher, 2-2. Ahmed Hodzik, smasher, 3-2. McNeil, smasher, 3-3. Bassett, smasher, 4-3. What is up with Football Manager highlights and penalties, by the way? They don't show you they don't show you the last penalty. They missed it. So might be some more penalties coming up, but yeah, they missed it. It's really annoying. The Football Manager highlights just don't show you it. They missed it. So we actually had our FA Cup final against Liverpool. So the ones that we've had quite a back and forth with. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be on the day. Liverpool got themselves a couple late goals, really killed it. We were winning as well. 2-1, and then they just got 2 late goals and won 3-2. So we didn't get silverware in this season, unfortunately, unless we won the league. I mean, look at the form. We didn't win the league. So as you can see, we had a very, very tough start, But then once we got into January, we cooked. January was unreal. Wins all the way through January. Looking very good. February, not as good, but we had a very strong January, and that really helped us climb up the league, well away from the relegation zone. And overall, for a first season in the Premier League, a very big success. We got a cup final under us, and we finished 9th. So we actually had a really tough start in the relegation zone. But after that, we just cooked. Moved up the league. Haji Wright, what a player. He's got plenty of goals. He's wanted by Saudi. We won't worry about that. 18 and 37 in the league. One of the top scorers in the Prem. And Kunku actually winning Golden Boot is interesting. Adingra, what a player he was on loan. He only came in for the half the season. He ended up on one of the highest average rating lists. Assists, we didn't really have anyone any high up on that list, so we won't worry about it. Player of the match, Haji Wright was our won the most man of the matches for us. Clean sheets, we were a little bit further down. Oliver Dovin, again, our goalkeeper, conceded quite a lot this year. Might need to improve on him for next season if we want to do anything better. But yeah, a very good season. So moving into season 3, this was the end of season 2. Again, quite a few of the nobodies left. Sakamoto left. Brad Collins left. Yeah. Bobby Thomas went on loan. Yeah. This is very much nothing players, but we do have quite a bit of money now with our Premier League money coming in. Our wage bill still fairly low, and we are going to have a very decent budget for next year, so we really need to go out and make sure we spend it well. We've got obviously Adingra and Baybook leaving their loans. We've got a couple of players that we need to get rid of. Bidwell, Allen, Eccles. Just not good enough for the Prem. So we need to improve on those. So for season 3, very much the same thing from the board. Just try to avoid relegation. We will do our best. We'll tell the boys the same thing. We'll go in, tell them, let's just get rid of it. Let's just avoid relegation. They're all up for it. They're up for a big season. I mean, I want to do better than just avoiding relegation. But we'll see. I mean, we finished 9th last year, so there's no reason to think we couldn't. Exits first for season 3. Bobby Thomas left. Bidwell left on a free to Oxford. Haji Wright got a big money move to Saudi. It was very disappointing, but I think we've replaced him with quite a good player. Sims has joined 20 on a permanent after his loan with 20 was done. Liam Kitchen has also left to Cardiff. And Charlie Taylor did leave after joining pretty soon after. Mason Clark left for £15 million, you know. He is not that good. We signed a big one. Victor Gyökeres is back at Coventry. You were wondering, how are we going to replace... How are we going to replace Haji Wright? Victor Gyökeres, he hadn't been picked up yet by the Save. 27-year-old, £50 million. He's going to be unreal. Another one in, Stelios Andreu, Cypriot centre-back. He's in from Belgium for £30 million. He looks a real good player. And Adingra's back on a permanent. We enjoyed his loan so much. We had to bring him in. We splashed the cash. £42.5 million. We've got our new goalkeeper, Bulgarian 23-year-old. I've never heard of this guy before, but we got him on a free from Slavia Sofia in Bulgaria. Spent his whole career in Bulgaria. But he's apparently a Premier League goalkeeper. Blanco, left back, Argentinian, and then Harvey Barnes was on the transfer list at Newcastle. We've went out, we've saved him. They spent nearly 40 million. We got him for 12. Wonder Kid sent him in from Rosenborg. Napian? I don't know. £3.5 million. He looks a proper player. And financially, we're still pretty good after all that. Because we did sell... so we basically sold Haji Wright for nearly 35 million. And we only spent... So we traded basically Haji Wright for Gyökeres and spent about 15 million. That, to me, is worthwhile. Season 3 was a great start. We got off to a 2-0 win. Nappen getting a goal on his debut over Brighton. They then, unfortunately, beat us in the League Cup on penalties. So I think for this season, a cup would have been really good. So to go out in the first round was quite disappointing. It would have been nice to go far. I think the League Cup is more likely to win. Gyökeres scoring against his former club as well. Did you know he was at Brighton? I guess you probably do now because his name's been in the news a lot. But I think when he first joined Spawn, I actually didn't know that he played for Brighton previously. I remember him at Coventry, but I didn't know he'd played for Brighton before that. And it seems quite odd that they would miss someone like that because they're usually really good. So one of the few rare Brighton L's. But they did win on penalties. Unfortunately, Nappen youngster did miss his penalty. A couple others missed as well. But we did make a couple final transfers. Rugani came in on a free just for the season. And then once again, we had another cracker against Liverpool, this time in the Premier League. We went 1-0 up. We went 2-0 up. Van Duven is turned into a right little wonder kid striker. He's been banging them in now that he's got Gokaresh next to him. We went 3-0 up. Kalali with the goal. Another spanking on the cards for Liverpool, or so we thought. McAllister got one back to make it 3-1 late on. They then got another one back. Bajetic got one back in off the post, but it didn't matter. We won 3-2. We then played Tottenham. Van Duven once again getting on the score sheet. We do concede goals, we do, but we have got some proper goal scorers. Gokares, Van Duven, they just score so much. Tottenham did get themselves one back, but it didn't matter. We won 3-1 or maybe 2-1 in the end. We then beat City 1-0 away from home with a Gokares goal. We then beat Fulham 2-0 away from home, and as you can see, lads, we were cooking in this Premier League season. This third season, we have turned into a proper side. January transfers, Zambrano came in, young midfielder, just for some cover. And then Dragishin was on the transfer list at Tottenham, so we brought him in, saved him as well. We are just bringing in the unwanteds and some couple key players, and we are cooking. We then played Liverpool again. I mean, this is just a fixture everyone at this point in this world must have been looking forward to. They did go 2-0 up. They actually went 3-0 up through a penalty as well, so we were looking like we were on the end of a spanking, but we pulled it back. We got a goal for ourselves. Harvey Barnes smashing one in top left. Liverpool did get themselves another goal, make it 4-1 through a penalty. We then made it 4-2. A mistake at the back allowed us to get in. Bassett there finishing off, who's become a little bit less playing as we've brought in Gokares, but Liverpool got themselves another to make it 5-2. Another mistake at the back, this time Van Duven pouncing on it, and another big fixture, Man United now. And we went 1-0 up. Lorenzo Luca, who we brought in, he hasn't played a lot and he's probably getting a little bit upset, but Gokares is, he's been the main man, as you'd expect, smashing it in. 2-0 up against Man United. Another mistake at the back. Van Duven pouncing on that one. He is so nippy, he's so quick, and definitely if you're looking for a Premier League rebuild or something, he would be someone you want to get in pretty much on any rebuild. We beat Man United 4-0. We did unfortunately go out in the FA Cup, so there is going to be no cup win, unfortunately, in this season. We lost 2-1 to Newcastle in the FA Cup. And then on the final day, Brighton were facing relegation. They needed to win. They needed to draw to stay up. And we went 1-0 up. And unfortunately, they made it 1-1. I mean, it doesn't really matter whether they stay up to us or not, but it would have been funny to relegate them. Van Duven did lead 2-1, but unfortunately for us, but I guess, fortunate for them, Evan Ferguson saved their skin and they did get a point on the final day to stay up, relegating Nottingham Forest. But that didn't really mean much to us. It would have been nice to relegate them after we've had some battles. We have had some battles in this rebuild. Liverpool, Man United and Brighton, I think, have been the three best games maybe. But as you can see, that Christmas period is really good for us. We just absolutely go on a mad run every Christmas in this rebuild. Even February is quite good. Just losses to Liverpool and Arsenal. Beating City in the Cup, that's another good one. Man United 4-0 in the league. Yeah, it was the semi-final of the FA Cup, which we definitely did a lot better in than the League Cup. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to win anything, but we did actually finish third, which for a 3-season rebuild, I think is very good. I think we've got the makings of a title winning side. Unfortunately, this is just a 3-season rebuild. If you want to see us do more, if you want to see us maybe do another 2 or 3 seasons and see if we can actually win the league, let me know in the comments and I'll think about it. But Victor Gokares, what a man. He's wanted by a lot of big clubs, so we would really struggle to keep him. Van Duven, 22 goals for him as well. Him and Gokares just absolutely on fire. Absolute gunmen. What a partnership that is. I mean, Haaland's on 33, but combine those two, unreal amount of goals. Assists, obviously just assisting each other. Best strike partnership in the Premier League, I'm telling you that right now. Adingra, what a signing. 10 assists, 6 goals. Top player. Calafiori, what a signing. Moved him to left back in the 3rd season. Unreal. Played the full season. Very, very good. Luca, actually most man of the matches, weirdly enough. Very good impact sub, 7 in 23. He's wanted by some big clubs and he's not really playing, so I think if we were doing another season, he'd probably be one to go. New goalkeeper, not bad. He was okay. I think he's got room to improve on. Quite similar to Dovin's record, really, but we just probably scored more this season, really. So very, very good. A 3rd place finish. The club's very healthy. Yeah. lots of sponsorship coming in. We've got lots of, we've spent a lot, but 20 million in the first season, not bad. 1.2 million left. I just forgot to mention Ahmed Hodzic actually left to PSG. That was unfortunate, but he left to PSG, and that's why we had to bring in Dragishin. Second season, we spent a lot, £121 million. Weirdly enough, some of those are in the season 2 transfers, but really they were season 3, like Gokaresh and Andreo Su. Maybe even it out, just 12 and 3/4 millions in sales as well. And then, so we did spend a fair bit, but I think it was worth it. And then season 3, 96 million in, 85 million sold, so not bad at all. But overall, lads, I would say a very, very successful rebuild. I think 3 seasons at Coventry, we've cooked. I think we've cooked, we really have. No trophies, which is a little bit of a shame. Would have been nice to win a cup, but I think we won a championship, so we won the championship, so we'll count it. We did win one. Very good stuff. A championship, a 9th place, and a 3rd place. Very good stuff. Hope you enjoyed the rebuild. I'll see you all for more Football Manager rebuilds very soon.